Hello and welcome to the Void Power PvP tutorial part 2. If you haven't checked out part 1 yet, you will find a link somewhere here. Go ahead and check it out. In part 2 we will be looking at decisions from me and my opponent, and we will be criticizing them in regards of Void Power usage. So let's jump into it. Okay, now we will take a look where I make a misdecision. And the wrong decision I make is based on me not keeping in mind the power levels. So I will give you like here a brief demo how you can kind of calculate power levels of your opponent. It will not be super accurate, but especially in the early game it will be pretty spot on. So let's take a look. I take a power well because I'm a greedy person and I think I can hold off against this opponent. But this is already a big commitment. 100 energy is down the drain for now, so he can attack me with 100 power more than I have. So yeah, that's already a big decision I'm making here. However, I feel confident defending here uphill because I can get a super nice root spot here. There, very nice root spot. And he just has 110 here. If I can kill that unit before he gets up, 110 against 45, you know, like the power well is already almost almost paid off. So now we will take a look at briefly calculating what is my opponent's power right now, just roughly, right? Sandara is 110, and this one we already established before is 210. So 110 plus 210 is 320. So he has 320 here. What do I have? I have here 180 plus 45 is 200 from the root spell is 225 plus 100 is 325. So you could say now we're equal. We said 320 against 325, but here are wind weavers which are 70. Okay, so I'm 70 power more invested than he is. I got here 25 back. Okay, so I'm like 50 invested more than he is. I have 40. So you could guess my opponent has 90 power, roughly, right? Oh, 84. So this quick calculation gives you a very precise understanding what does your opponent have. So I didn't do this calculation in the game because it was too complicated. My gut feeling was slightly off. I usually do those calculations very quickly. So I don't calculate that precisely, but I usually have a good guess. This time I didn't. So I was thinking he's lower in power. And what that means is I wasn't aware that he will be very, very soon ready to do 2 eruptions, 150 energy. So I'm trying to chase him down because I have the bigger army and I want to pick those off to get even more power advantage. I do this. And as I said, not aware, not doing the calculations. You can see now, let's do slow. First eruption will come in. Boom. And he has the energy for a second eruption easily. I'm trying to react after the first eruption. I get a heal off. So he just spent 150 double eruption to take out 2 dryads, 120. And I place in addition the heal which costs me another 80. So complete power decision making disaster. Because I panicked and I made the healing spell in addition. Would I have done nothing, no healing spell, would I have not chased him down that hard, I could easily and happily sit on my power well. I could even wait for him to take a power well and then attack with my bigger army. A lot of things I could have done, but I did this. Okay. Let's take a look at another bad decision. Need a bit of pre-context. First, we're facing off here. Like, no mistakes done, really. He places the tower, he wants that spot. 50 power bound. Important thing, it's stationary power. Like, it's not like a spell, it doesn't give you the power back immediately. It's like a unit, it binds it as long as it lives. And buildings usually can't move. Phase towers can, but certainly not an ice shield tower. So this is stationary. Here is the power bound. Important to remember this when playing against towers. And then he plays a Glyph of Frost to freeze my units if I run in. So, another 45 powers wasted? Okay. So I do the correct thing. I retreat. I cannot go in here. I would not win. I take a well. And my goal is now take more wells because he just wasted some power. I can build wells faster than he can. And knowing that the 50 are here and the 45 were wasted here, the mistake he's going to do is going into a fight that he shouldn't do. Because he's down 95 energy as opposed to me. So he's going into a tier 1 fight basically in the same way as if you would have taken a second power well. You don't do that. So that's the mistake. Going into this fight, a fight he cannot win. So yeah, certain enough, I win this fight. I take a well, he has 3 wells, I have 3 wells. I have a big army. He has 1 defensive tower. So what should he do to now kind of recover? I have a lot of power bound into tier 1 and I'm going to attack him. He needs to defend somehow. So he pulls up a wall, stalls out a lot of time, and he goes tier 2. Because if he can go tier 2, then suddenly my army power here, it will not be enough to push into here. So he very nicely recovers. And why I couldn't take an orb immediately? Because I don't have that much power now, because my power is bound on the field. That's why he could get the power earlier. My power is bound here. It doesn't flow back from the void pool. So very smart how he recovers here. I go back, pick up a tier 2, and suddenly it's a real game. And you need to play it out. But yeah, what I wanted to show is like I took advantage of this misplay. He shouldn't have seeked the fight. And then how he reacted correctly and kind of like turned it around into an equal position again. And then there is a whole game you need to play. Okay, now we will be looking at something more nuanced in the beginning. We're both equal here. Both take a well. I have an army. Why do I not attack here? In previous games I did attack. Well, we're equal on power levels. Which means he can spawn an equal army, he can defend at the well. He spawns his unit not dazed. I have to spawn them dazed, so they're weaker. So he will win the fight if we have equal micro. He's not 1 power well ahead. That's why I don't attack. Equal power armies, I will not be able to attack a defending position. So I just retreat, nothing more I can do. But I can take a power well, maybe he will attack me. So he doesn't, he goes for an orb. Now the interesting part. 150 power here, 100 power here. What's the situation? 50 power more is bound, so I have a 50 power stronger army. But he can spawn undazed units, I would need to spawn them dazed. So I'm slightly have the edge in this fight. Also his power here is mispositioned. It will take time until it gets back. I'm slightly ahead in this fight, but I will probably not fully win it, because in time there will be tier 2, and I will lose against tier 2. So what I do is a nuanced decision. It's saying, I will push into it, I will be slightly having an edge, and I will prevent him from having the resources to go for a power well. So I will have 1 power well ahead, and I will slowly produce a bit of advantage in power, while believing I can have a stalling situation here. But once he goes tier 2, I need to go tier 2, because otherwise he pushes with his tier 2 force. So my goal here is to get a slight advantage. How does the fight go? Yes, I win it initially because I had the better position, he was mispositioned. He's waiting for a tier 2, and then uses 1 tier 2 unit and an oink. And suddenly I'm now in a losing position. I'm going for tier 2 so I can defend. And this one produced already 25 energy, and he still didn't get one. So now full tier 2 pulling out. And how much? 40. So I produced 40 more energy, and now he gets it. And this was this nuanced decision making I did, because I knew he would not be able to leverage this orb. That's why I did this mini attack. Would I have just waited in my base? He could have attacked me maybe with a tier 2 unit. Maybe I could have also built tier 2 and then we would just be equal. But I wanted to like leverage this bit of advantage. And then we kind of play an equal game. And like when you play it and you keep track of the power kind of in your head, you understand if you're equal or not. And I understood we're kind of equal throughout this whole skirmish, so I will not go through those ones. And now the interesting part will occur. I'm losing here this fight, I'm pulling back, because I know I can't fight a losing battle at his power well. Because again, he can play undazed, I have to play dazed. So I retreat and he overcommits. This is the big mistake that I can like leverage on. And this is like 1, 2, 3, 4 units that all die now. And I have now a huge army here, right? Like 100, 160, 60 and 75. Huge army. And I had always the feeling we're kind of equal in power levels, so probably we're still equal in power levels, but I have this army on the field. So let's look. 200 here, 460 in the void pool. I have 200, but only 200 in the void pool because the rest is here. Makes all sense. So how can I leverage this advantage and make it in a win? If I commit here 200 more attack, no. If I take a power well, maybe, but there is a much better way. And that is understanding that in order for him to defend this, he needs to spend equal amount of energy. But if he spends an equal amount of energy, and I know he has roughly 200 because I have 200, that means how can he defend, for example, if I put 100 energy and attack here and 100 energy attack here? Because he already needs to spawn for this attack. He can't, and that's what I'm abusing here. I'm going here with 140 attacking here, 140 attacking here. And I'm kind of spreading him thin. I don't even want to win this fight. I want to have this fight here in the middle, to have him commit units, to have him commit power. So that he cannot commit enough power to defend here, and he cannot commit enough power to defend here. So he tries, great defense, stone shards against those two. But I run away, I commit 45 energy to root and attack the well. While still fighting this here. And I attack up here. And yeah, you're kind of like just spreading your opponent thin, and you just need to win in one of those places. You don't need to win in all three. And he is down the power, so he cannot defend all of them, and he crumbles here. And then he will start crumbling everywhere. But even if he would defeat those two armies here, I would still win, because he defeats those armies, I just pull out. I have my one well advantage, I would be happy with that. But again, this decision came from overcommitment here in the middle and me understanding that his power is too low to defend 3 spots. Okay, let's take a look at another bad decision. This time like wrong decision because of power management, but also there play some other factors in, like map awareness this time. He plays Strikers, I play Dryad. Dryad is maybe questionable on such a big map. His starting unit is good, and we will get here a tier 1 battle, where I play horrendous unit composition, I miss micro, so I lose the fight. But we are not speaking in this replay about miss micro, unit composition, such things. We're taking a look at power management. So, if you would be my opponent, how do you win? You're obviously leading position here, but how do you close out the game reliable? You can attack, you could take a well, you could take an orb, monument. What my opponent does is he attacks me. Is that good? Yes, he should win the fight, like he's up ahead in power. At least those 100. 150, sorry. At least those 150 he's up ahead. So he should win the fight actually if he attacks me. Is that the best decision though? No, I don't think so. Why? Because he gives me a chance to defend. Like my orb attacks, I can spawn units undazed, he has to spawn them dazed. So while he should be able to win, I don't think it's the best decision. First thing he should always do is kill off the strikers. Having 90 more power back in the pool would do him much more than 3 units that have 3 life points will do. They will do absolutely nothing. So he should get this back into the void pool, get the power. And then he should go and take a well. And why should he do that? Because I cannot react to that in any way. What do I mean by that? Like he will get more energy here, more power over time. And if I spawn a unit here, go for an attack, I cannot win because he bound 100 power here, but he has a 150 power army. So he would just defend it, right? He would just lock me off this part of the map. Could I pull even? Can I go for a power? Well, no, I can't. Why? I need to place a unit here, Swift Claw, 70 power. Run all the way here and take a well for 100 power. But while I do that, I would bind here 70 plus 100 power. And he would attack then here. My 70 Swift Claw is up here and he attacks here with 150 plus something. So I would never be able to defend at that point then. He would like widen the gap. But he doesn't do that. Instead, he goes and attacks directly. The gap is not that wide, but he could widen it, right? If I would not attack, I would not go up here. He would just wait it out, go tier 2. And he's happy he wins with a tier 2 army. And I can never get tier 2 because I cannot even get this well. So how would I ever get to this orb here? And if you look at the map, none of the orb positions would be reachable for me. So he would manage his power much better if he kills off this unit and then increases the gap in power. Because I can never pull even. But he attacks, he's in a winning position. He doesn't need to play the strikers that closely. He could play them back. He could do the attack better. Basically, he gives me the chance to defend. I do defend. I'm in a winning position. So he gave away his whole advantage. And yeah, ultimately he loses. Okay, that's it. No more replays for today's video. What I want you to take away from this is like try to think in terms of power. Experiment with it. Like try to think of what are favorable power traits. Like Wind Weavers, 210. Let's move them all to one spot. I'm getting attacked by 210 power. I'm not getting attacked by 3 Wind Weavers, right? I use an Eruption, 75 and 150. I just traded 150 against 210. I didn't defeat my opponent's armor. No, we were trading power. That's how I want you to think about those things. That should be the main takeaway. Try to conceptualize everything about power decisions. And yeah, if you like this type of beginner tutorial, maybe let me know. I can cover different types of mistakes, my own replays, different concepts, specific strategies against other factions, players, units, etc. Let me know if you have some ideas and I'll try to cover it.